side, as I said right at the very beginning of this video group. Okay, and there we go. There's Apollo 15. We have his friends in the same photo, and that other floppy-eared character, one of his friends. And Disneyland, Frontierland, Tom Sawyer Island, fake animal rocks at Disneyland. And we got like a dog here, of course. And up here we've got an elephant, big floppy ears, trunk, and some other animal. Not too sure. Sometimes you can't necessarily tell what some of them are. And over here we have what appears to be another elephant, possibly Dumbo. Yeah, it's a small little elephant. There's ears. There's trunk coming down here. And what we have here, now this is Apollo 17. Now one thing that you do find when you study all the Apollo photos in particular is that you find that there's these times or different places where you have a whole big congregation of these larger rocks. Generally, it gives them opportunity to play around a little bit, particularly with Disney and putting a few of their different characters. Or necessarily, what you find is like this one here, Apollo 17 Sculptured Hill. That's the name of this area here with whatever, just random meteorite rocks or whatever they're supposed to be if they were actually on the moon. But what you find is that quite often what's hidden in what they name these different areas is related a little bit to what they've actually hidden in them. So Sculptured Hill, they've sculptured an elephant here. You got the eyes of an elephant. You recognize that one eye there is very much an elephant eye. And you got the snout, long nose of the elephant. And that's the look, and you got the frown on the top there, the yellow elephant. But what you have here related to the name, the Sculptured Hill, is you actually have a sculpture hidden in the back here. Now, if you actually have a look here, you'll see that it's whatever this material is that they've actually used to make these fake rocks out of. They've actually sculptured in an inward relief, or basically they put like eyes here, and as you can see there, they've taken all part of that out. And just go to this Apollo. Actually, what one are we on there? I'll just double check that. Apollo. Oh, I've actually put this is Apollo 17, so that should actually read there Apollo 17. So this is Sculptured Hill, face sculptured into rock. Well, that's one thing about Apollo 11. There was only a couple of rocks that they dealt with in that one. That was very sparse. Apollo 12, of course, the camera deliberately broken, or for whatever reasons. There was obviously a few of the astronauts playing their parts. They weren't too pleased. If you actually listen to some of the NASA recordings that they have on file very carefully, you'll see that they weren't, particularly one of them wasn't actually pleased with what they were having to do there, and the camera was broken, or supposedly broken. Yeah, but that's another story. As I said here, you can sort of tell the relief part here. And yep, like I said, that should be Apollo 12 there. Typed all these in. I've been very careful with the numbers, obviously. People want to follow this up and check them all. Okay, so what we have here, AS-17 Apollo 17 Dumbo. That's what I've been. Obviously, there's an older elephant. Could be one of the other elephants related to Dumbo, but that's a general theme. Generally, when the original ones, Dumbo. When did Dumbo come out? Dumbo came out in 1941. I mentioned the 101 Dalmatians earlier on. That was 1961. Obviously, the related films were tended to be popular ones for Disney. And here we go, Dumbo 1941. And what we have, see the look of Dumbo, and here we go, here's a little Dumbo. It was Apollo 16, And this one was actually off in the distance in this particular photo number. Some of the this is actually quite a white light rock, so that's why it looks hard to see or make out, but you can actually make out the snout. There's droopy ears over here. There's a little eye, just a tiny little fella there. And we'll go back, switch back. As you can see, the same sort of look. Dumbo. And yeah, obviously you can check out all these things yourself.